Hey man, say man, it's your boy J2. I'm feeling great. Hope y'all feeling great too. Right now we is outside walking and talking.
Yes,
but
sir.
today it ain't just me. We in Watsonville and I'm with my brother Danny V.
What's
how
good,
you feeling
man?
today, big dog?
Good to see you, man.
If you was to describe how you feeling, how life been lately, how would you describe it?
Honestly, just feeling blessed to be, have all these opportunities in terms of performances and to be able to share these shows with my closest friends is honestly amazing. Like I feel very grateful and blessed.
Yeah. For somebody who doesn't know who Danny V is,
Yeah.
how would you describe that to somebody who doesn't know you?
For Danny V, I would say hardworking. Like I feel like one thing that really stands out when it comes to me is like my work ethic. I think my work ethic, and I'm very grounded and connected with my roots and where I come from and my community. And so, yeah, really just that, the work ethic.
Yeah, we was driving here even so too, and Christian was like, man, everything Eastlake, because he never been on this one too, but you pushing Eastlake, you push Watsonville, and it's super dope that, like you said, you stay rooted to where you from, so a local artist from the 831, and I was even telling them, in my opinion, I feel like you, in the music game, you one of the biggest that's ever made it in the music game in the 831.
Damn,
going
bro.
on tour, selling out shows, just reached 60K followers, which just happened recently as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just pushing a lot of music, a lot of content, going viral a lot.
Yeah.
But I could attest to that hard work and the dedication and staying rooted to your thing. What would you say about Watsonville? Growing up in Watsonville, what it means to you, how
like I feel like we're literally in the perfect spot of Watsonville right now, because literally what you see right here, all this is Watsonville. The agriculture is Watsonville. The people that make this town is Watsonville. The immigrants that have literally came here and sacrificed everything to provide for their family is what makes Watsonville. I feel like. And for that reason, this is another reason why I actually like coming to this specific trail to run every morning, because when I'm up at 5, 6 a.m. and I see everyone, all the berry pickers, all the lettuce pickers, they're here in the morning, and I'm like, they're working their ass off. And I'm like, I feel like I should be working my ass off because my parents were exactly who they were at some point. And they sacrificed a lot. And so I feel like I've been given an opportunity to represent my people and my community. And that's why I'm so like hard on representing Eastlake and Watsonville, because it's like, this is what we're known for. We're an agricultural city, but no, like that's where my parents came from. And so it's just like, I just resonate, and I just feel inspired, like just seeing it here every morning.
Most definitely. And even with that inspiration from the agriculture and the hardworking concept, Watsonville also isn't the suburbs in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So I'm also curious, like when you talk about inspiration and you do a lot of your music has been based off of love and R&B and your background.
Yeah.
Who was some of your inspirations when it comes to the music, when it comes to your music?
Well, really my inspirations come from like a wide variety of different genres, because obviously sometimes it's R&B and sometimes it's hip hop. And so I would say, if we're speaking like artists, early on I was listening to a lot of Lucky Daye, Kehlani. I listened to a lot of her. Yeah. And so listening to them has definitely, molded my sound. But, for me, I'm genuinely a fan of music overall, because I started off as a producer. And so I wanted to be able to produce different genres, even if I listen to it or not. So I'm a fan of music, all in all.
Starting off as a producer, what made you want to become an artist? Or how did that come about to start actually putting some vocals on the beats?
Really, I always tell this story, but like it was early on when I was producing here and in San Jose when I was living out there. But I'd be making these beats and the artists would get on them, and I was just like, damn, they're not doing these beats justice. Like they're just not doing a good job of what I would imagine or what I could
Yeah.
Really what I would imagine an artist doing on the beat.
Yeah.
And so I was like, one day I was like, man, I just got to try it and maybe it'll come out good. And so the first time I got in a beat, it was in Spanish. I wrote the verses in Spanish and I was just like, damn, this shit sounds fire.
Yeah.
But really I didn't want to establish myself as a Latin artist initially, because I knew that, you know, my Spanish wasn't the best. So I was like, I'd rather develop myself as, you know, like American artist and English written artist. And then from there, I could basically, you know, develop my voice, because believe it or not, like if you're speaking different languages, your voice is going to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to get my Espanol up too, though. I ain't going to lie. That's one of my goals. I want an Espanol song.
Exactly. Yeah.
You about to go into your second tour.
Yeah, second tour. It's crazy.
From what you learned on your and how are these tours even coming about? You know, an artist that wants to throw a tour, or an artist that wants to start having shows or getting booked. They're not sure how to even do any of that type concept.
Yeah.
Well, how did that come about? What kind of game could you?
I'm gonna be honest. It's actually very, very simple. So, really, you know me. Like I'm constantly posting on the social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube Shorts. The first thing you have to do in order to start doing shows and all of this is you have to build a community and a presence online. You have to basically make not only like music, but content that makes people want to come and see you. And
can't be one-dimensional.
Exactly. And so really I knew that was the first step. Like I needed to make records that people wanted to come and sing along with me. Because really, that's why people come to shows. It's like when you go to a concert, you go because you genuinely like the artist and you genuinely rock with their music. And so once I pretty much built that, I really just started taking polls like on social media. I was like, what city should I perform in? I remember there was this one that I did where I was like, what city should I come perform in? And literally I saw like hundreds of people throwing their city. And we're not just talking one city, we're talking like multiple.
Yeah.
But obviously, once I took that poll, I was able to identify which cities were most common in the section. And upon like the first ones, I would always see like Fresno or like Phoenix, Utah, Denver. Like I said, really the cities that I'm targeting on this current tour for the Middle of the Night tour.
Did those come in? Were those in alignment with your streams? Like you could see where your most streamed cities are. Were those in alignment with it, or were those in alignment with your following? You feel?
Not at all. It was more in alignment with the following, because the thing is, the streaming platforms is really hard to identify who truly listens to your music through, like, let's say Spotify or Apple.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't feel like those are even accurate. Like, I don't even look at those numbers anymore, because I'm just like, damn, like, none of this is like, the only thing that matters are the people that are actually commenting or like sending you DMs. Like, those people, too. Those people are really the only people that are actually rocking with you. Like all those streams, like it really doesn't mean
anything.
Much. Yeah, like I used to spend so much time like, oh, I want this song at like 100,000 streams, or I want this many monthly listeners. But like someone was just like, this guy dropped game, and he was just like, none of that shit matters, bro. Like streams, your followers, your likes, that doesn't matter. He's like, can you sell a show? And it's like, if you can, then you're good. And if you can't, like,
that's what you need to focus on.
That's why I started focusing on shows, because you're really selling tickets, you're selling merch, and in a world that we live in today where we don't know what's real, and we don't know like what people even sound like or look like because of AI and because of all the things that we can do to manipulate what we're hearing and what we're seeing. It's important to create an experience for people where they can see and they can touch what they're truly invested in.
For sure. The art.
The art, yeah.
You talked about even just like the whole concept of I just lost my thought though. But we're talking about the content creation part of not being one-dimensional.
Yeah.
If you were to think about like how you come about creating content, because your content is consistent as hell, and there's a lot of artists that I talk to that don't want to post because they want their Instagram to look a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, everything has to be, you know, what I'm saying? Everything gotta be perfect. You gotta match the aesthetic. You gotta do this. You gotta do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are your thought processes on aesthetic, quality, quantity, consistency? Not only being music, gaining a fan. What's your thoughts on content?
It requires balance for sure. You have to be able to deliver personable content, but also at the same time high quality content.
Yeah.
And personable content might not always be the prettiest looking. And so for my thing is, I actually kind of have like a rule for this. For TikTok, I really just focus more on like, I'll grab my iPhone and I'll shoot content and I'll just throw it on my face. Whatever, however I look, however corny, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, these high quality videos are only gonna show so much of your personality, because obviously you're trying to get your best angle, you're trying to get the best lighting, the best scenery, all that is perfect. People like to see imperfections. And so for me, I've really like devoted my, you know, non-aesthetic looking content pieces to TikTok and devoted my high quality content pieces on Instagram.
Yep.
And like I'm saying, like, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna post personable content on Instagram, but I'm not necessarily gonna prioritize that. And realistically, if people are truly invested in you, they're gonna go to the social media outlet where they can find you more.
Yeah.
So it's like, I found that if people are really invested in you, they'll find a way to like find more about you. You know what I'm saying?
No, most definitely. That's how I got into what I be doing. It's that same concept. You know, it can't just be one-dimensional. And I also feel like it takes a certain type of. We were just talking about this earlier before the conversation started about mindset and confidence. You know, it takes a certain type of mindset and confidence to be able to record something and put it out into the world. It takes a certain type of confidence and mindset to stand in front of on stage with hella people. You know, and do all that. And, you know, I talked with the kids about it last night about confidence and how the people who are really doing something successful in life have a certain type of mindset. They think differently, they act differently, they move differently, they talk differently. I think you have a certain type of confidence where you know what I mean, to post and sell out shows and put yourself out there like that. What does confidence mean to you, for one? What's the definition of confidence to you? And then where did you get that from, or have you always had it?
Yeah, so for me personally, confidence comes from repetition. And what that really means is you do something enough, you might not be good at it the first time, you keep doing it, you're gonna build confidence. Whether that's creating music, creating content, or even just building confidence up for yourself. Me personally, what builds up my confidence is doing things like going to the gym, eating right, staying healthy. It makes me feel confident because I enjoy and I love the person that I'm looking at when I look in the mirror.
For sure.
I think that's first and foremost the importance of confidence. Is, do you love the person that you're seeing when you look in the mirror? And if you do, then you can kind of continue to build up your confidence in other different pockets of your life. Whether that's, for me, that's music or relationships. It's like, first and foremost, build confidence within yourself, and then build the confidence that you need to in the different genres of whatever you're focused on in your life.
And the energy that you carry is going to attract that same energy that you put out.
Exactly.
For confidence, for me, even just like piggybacking off what you said, because it just made me think about it too. It's just keeping your word to yourself. You know, doing the things that you say you was going to do. You know what I mean? Like you talked about earlier about waking up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. running on this trail.
Exactly.
To wake up at 5 a.m. is a discipline, and to say you're gonna do it and then actually do it is where the confidence comes from. Because now I'm keeping my word to what I said. That structure that we talked about. How did you come up with that structure, or what does your morning look like for you, or what does a day in the life look like for Danny V?
So for me, I found that I wasn't able to get a lot of the things done in my day. And really, it was just a self-reflection moment. I remember it was in 2023. It was after, funny enough, it was like after one of the 201 shows that we did, where I just kind of felt stagnant. And I was just like, man, I feel like I'm really putting in work, but I'm not really seeing too many results. And so this routine of waking up early and being a little bit more structured about everything that I do started with that 45-day challenge that I did about 2 years back now.
Yeah.
And during that time, I really just started waking up early and writing down my goals and making sure I set time to myself to reflect and think about what I did, whether it was the day before or what I plan to do with the rest of my day. So what my day usually looks like when it comes to a schedule is I try to wake up anywhere around 5 to 6 a.m. I spend about 30 to 45 minutes meditating, making sure that I cleanse my palate of anything, whether it's social media or just anyone that's trying to get a hold of me. I need that moment of silence to reflect on what I've done, like I said. After that, it's important for me to go to the gym, realign my spirits, and make sure build that confidence up. Like I'm saying, you lift weights, you go run. When you're done with that run, you're gonna feel better than when you did before.
High.
Exactly. And so I do that and I feel great. Come back home. I like to stay fasted personally. Fasted not only just within the social media, but fasted, from food. Like I said, re-cleanse my palate.
Yeah.
And have my first meal. From there, it's at this point, it's 12 o'clock. And I pretty much start with my day. And now my mind is clear and I've already written down my goals for the day. So I know exactly what I need to be doing in order to maintain productivity.
Yeah, fire. What's the end goal?
The end goal.
Or what's the goal?
The goal, personally, I've said this in the last interview, I'm trying to make $100,000 literally off of music this year, whether that's through shows, merch, or anything else, is be able to have the finances to continue to build this into something that's, not just locally, but like a countrywide thing. Because I'm not necessarily the person that's, I'm not a greedy person. I don't really do this because I chase the money, but I know that you need finances and the advancements to invest in, what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because, you and I both know that this isn't a cheap,
Yeah. Music's expensive.
Yeah, it's an expensive hobby for sure. And not even a hobby, it's an expensive career.
Yeah.
And so if you want to do this, you have to make sure that you have your finances right. You have to make sure you hire the best people that you possibly can in order to make yourself and your team look great, I think.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
The underdogs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's man, I love the name, first of all.
Yeah.
That's what I built my life off of. And that's what I enjoy being the most.
Yeah.
It's just being an underdog. You know what I mean?
Underdogs.
Yeah. So how did that group come about?
Yeah.
Overall, just for those that don't know the underdogs, what is that team like? How did it come about? Just the whole creative process. Y'all got numbers in there.
So for those of y'all who don't know who the Underdogs is, we're a collective from California that essentially recruits members, talented people from all over the Central Valley, whether that's from Tracy, Los Banos, Watsonville.
But what makes somebody get chosen?
Really, it's if we truly see the potential in your craft. I mean, you don't necessarily got to be an artist. We have videographers, we have producers on the team. I feel if you show, that you're truly committed to your craft and you care more about the craft than the byproducts that come with, music and success. It's if we see that, and really it starts off by collaborating first and foremost. We have to collaborate with these people and kind of get a sense of their personality and their vibe.
Yeah.
And really, if we rock with them, it's
everything in alignment with what y'all pushing, moving, and doing.
Exactly. And I think Soul really has the final say in all these things, because he's really the one that's recruiting all these members. But early on, it was really just our Soul, Joel, Chef, and me. So it was 4 of us. And at that time, I was I always thought that the Underdogs felt complete for me personally. But as we've kind of continued to, expand on the team with Tony P and Roscoe and Jacob and Alden and 2K you know, it really feels like a family now.
Yeah, stronger.
And the relationship that we have and the way that we're able to complement each other when it comes to like not only production but the verses, and it makes us want to be better as writers, and we are really just pushing each other to be the best versions of ourselves. And I think that, you know, my contribution to the Underdogs is really to, you know, show everyone what I like learned in this journey and be able to just share that game with everyone else. And like I said, really just provide the opportunity to be able to do shows, you know, out of state or really anywhere in town, and being like, okay, like, you guys want to join? Let's run it. Like, I never personally had anybody that gave me that opportunity to do a show in a different state or do a sold out show in a different city. So it's like, I'm thankful that I can provide that opportunity for my friends. Because it's like, it's definitely like, you know, you'll definitely grow a lot faster like that, because now you're building an audience at a faster rate.
Definitely.
You know?
I feel like one of the hard things about having a team is, you know, everybody has their own personal goals, endeavors, opinions, you know, dreams, and just all type of different stuff that come with it. What do you feel, how do you get through things like that? How do you keep everybody motivated and inspired? What makes a successful team run? All of that type vibe.
First and foremost, I think a successful team requires strong leadership. And I think that we have, you know, semi-different leaderships. Obviously, first and foremost, our soul is the founder. And so, but this year, or really like halfway through last year, I kind of told him and took it upon myself to be like, look, you have a lot on your plate. Let me help you. That's another thing that is required in a team, is people have to be, all hands have to be committed on deck. Because it's like, if one person is carrying one weight more than the other, it's not gonna work. So I know that our soul's like main priority is, he's shooting a lot of the content for pretty much the majority of the team members. And so what needs to be is, I think the social media aspect was probably like something that needed a little bit more help and a little bit more refinement. So I'm like, okay, let me provide what I know from social media and what I've learned from being consistent, and see if we can translate that to the Underdogs. Because one thing I was telling him was, the Underdogs is essentially known more for its individual collectives as opposed to the Underdogs as a more so like a group. Because it's like, people need to come to an Underdog show and want to see the Underdogs. They shouldn't come to an Underdog show to just see like Iron Chef or Jacob Johnson, for example. They should want to come see the whole group as a collective. So it's like, okay, if we want to be known more as a group, then we have to push more. We have to push the socials more as a group, as opposed to individuals. And so really, that's kind of what came about with the Underdogs project, and why I was kind of like, these covers, these visuals, we all need to be present. And I think people need to be able to feel our presence through their phone, which I feel like has been, you know, semi-effective with these last kind of rollouts of the records.
No, definitely. Y'all been pushing a lot of team stuff lately. That's fire. What's the best advice you ever received?
Best advice I've received is definitely, I said it earlier, but streams, followers, likes don't matter. Focus on selling shows. In terms of, you know, that's some musical advice. I could just think of off the top.
What's a struggle you battle daily or often that most people wouldn't know?
I would say confidence, funny enough. You know, how we were talking about it is like, obviously you're gonna live every single day confident. Every day is not gonna be like a sunny and beautiful day like this. There's gonna be days where you're gonna question what you're pursuing, your craft, where it's gonna take you, but just know, like I said, me personally, I definitely deal with that confidence and like that, because it's like social media, I have to like portray myself as like, you know, you obviously want to portray the highlights of your life,
Sure.
the perfections of it, but really it's like
it ain't perfect.
It ain't perfect. And so I think that trying to maintain that positivity and that confidence every day is a struggle. But
Definitely.
I feel like making sure I keep my routine and a balance is what allows me to keep those levels, to a certain standard. I'm not going to say they're high, but I think if we can create a standard, then we're good.
I have this thing that I've been saying with some of my coaches or some of my players too, is just stay middle. And I've learned it from another friend of mine who played in the Major League Baseball league, where he says stay middle. I'm never too high, I'm never too low.
Yeah.
Never too happy, I'm never too sad.
Yeah.
I just stay in the middle, and that kind of helps with those confidence, because there's gonna be days where you're low, and there's gonna be days where you lit.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay in the middle and just do what you're supposed to do today.
Exactly.
And just stay in the middle, man.
Yeah.
Stay consistent. Stay level-headed. Don't get mad. Don't get too overly confident.
Yeah.
Because you could get humbled real quick.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
What's a story you've always wanted to tell but never had the chance to?
Man, this one's good. I mean, I technically did say it for the first time in my last interview, but this is one of my favorite stories, because I feel like it's really what shaped me going into 2025 last year. It was being out in LA for this event. It's called Nam Week. And I was pretty much down to my last few dollars. And really, I was looking at applying to jobs at this point, because I was like, there's no way this is going to work.
Yeah.
And pretty much we were out for that week. But prior to leaving, I remember I had posted this clip for my baby, and I had captioned it and everything. And I was like, the next day, I think I had gained like maybe 20 or 30,000 followers just like overnight. Something crazy. Like radio stations were reposting it. It was just getting a lot of notoriety from other, big artists. And it was kind of really just funny that week being out in LA and not really having much financially.
Yeah.
But kind of seeing my music just kind of like blow up in real time. To like a certain extent, obviously, like nothing crazy, nothing nationwide, but it's just like to see that kind of growth, happen overnight is kind of crazy when you've kind of had these small bits of success. And really the most memorable part of all that is knowing that I didn't have any gas to get back home or anywhere to stay.
Yeah.
And so I remember just door dashing that night in order to make a little bit of money to, pay for food and pay for gas. And so really, just to kind of summarize it, like we were door dashing, we were hungry, we didn't have anywhere to stay, and my homie, Zay, he let us stay in his office in downtown LA, and it was again like such a like duality and such a like ironic thing, because it's like where the office was is these high rises, and we were looking at the skyscrapers in downtown LA, but like just thinking about the situation, I have this spread of like white bread, peanut butter and jelly, some ham and some chips from the money that I was able to scrape from door dashing that day. Even though I had to spend some money on gas, and we were there and we were looking at these like high rises, and we were seeing like all this stuff blow up on social media. And it was just such a like duality and ironic moment because of where I was financially, but where everything kind of felt like it was going. Yeah. And there's so much more to that.
It's a crazy life reminder too, how everything happens in that way.
There's so much more to like that story that I could really go on. Yeah. But really it's just that moment really put a battery on my back, and kind of like it was almost just a reminder from God or whoever's watching that it's just like keep going, really we believe in what you're doing, and we're giving you this extra push to continue to put you in that right direction, in the direction that we feel like you need to be going.
Yeah. So, I was just gonna bring that up too, and you just brought it up at the end. Just like how many people are actually on that verge of, quitting. Yeah. How many are on that verge of, pushing the dream to the side and just letting life get real. And how close we might actually be to where we're actually was trying to go.
Yeah, man.
You know, and it's just like we all don't really know. So when is there a time of when do I know to keep going, or when do I know that I've gave everything that I was supposed to give? And you know, that's just a unique thing. And I feel like the only thing that can help you get through those things is through like prayer and faith and God. Does God play a part in your life?
Absolutely, man. I honestly pray every morning, every night, and really I pray. My usual prayer is I just pray for the strength to continue to keep moving forward. I pray, and another thing that I usually kind of pray, it's not necessarily a prayer, but more like a gratitude. But thank you for giving me, you know, breath in my lungs or air in my lungs, and for allowing me to see another day.
Yeah.
Gratitude is just kind of just really goes a long way and really sets the tone for me personally when it comes to starting it.
Hella. Does this thing lap back around to the whip, or
no? You gotta walk all the way back.
Y'all want to do? We've been striking. You said it was a mile. That thing.
We damn near did like the whole thing.
I was about to say.
I was like, we're doing it. We're doing this, but
we gonna end up at your crib. I'm hoping, and we'll go pick up your car later.
We could down there go. We could do that.
This is helpful. We've been on this is a dope path for real.
Yeah,
I love
it's really nice in the morning. Right now, it's pretty much getting hot. The sun's at its peak.
Yeah,
but it's nice too. Like after a long rainy weekend, the water flows. You know.
It's dope. Nice. We could finish up around here too. What would be a message you would give to the world right now?
To the world right now, I would say, don't be fooled by what you see on the social media, and always follow love, because we live in a world right now where there's people trying to control us, and they're trying to control our perceptions on reality. And you know, doing stuff like this, literally walking, being with people that you love, that's what really matters. Don't get so caught up on what you see on the socials, because they're literally trying to tear us apart, and they're trying to break families and friends over what's going on in the world. Just stick to love, and stick to positivity, and stick to, you know, being true to who you are, and your morals and your values. That's what I would say to the world right now, because we're so torn apart with everything that's going on, really.
Fire. You heard it first, man. Watsonville, 831 in the building. Feel me? We outside with Danny V, J2, Walk and Talk. And thanks for tuning in. And then stay tuned for the next episode. You feel me? Love y'all.
That was a good walk.
Good shit too, bro.
Great walk.
Hella.